guys, it's your boy Mustafa with another episode of Waffler Talk Sports, the Premier League edition. Today we're going to be analysing last week's results for Game Week 21 and we're going to give our predictions for Game Week 22. So let's see what we have on the table first. We're going to start off with Arsenal versus Crystal Palace. What a game this was. I think I predicted a 2-1 win to Arsenal, but boy did Arsenal destroy Crystal Palace. They won 5-0 and pretty much bossed the game from start to finish. The goal scorers were Gabriel in the 11th minute, Dean Henderson with an own goal, Leandro Trossard in the 59th minute, and Gabriel Martinelli with 2 goals in injury time, 90+4 and 90+5. Arsenal back to winning ways, which is fantastic for them. And it could really be a boost for their season after that little blip with losing a few games here and there, getting a few draws. But yeah, this is fantastic for Arsenal, of course. Now, Brentford. Ivan Toney was back in the Brentford team. And I predicted he would score, and he did score. Brentford won 3-2 against Nottingham Forest. I did think I predicted a Brentford win. I can't remember. I'll put it on screen now. But Ivan Toney scored in the 19th minute. Ben Mee scored in the 58th minute. And Neil Maupay scored in the 68th minute. Danilo in the 3rd minute for Nottingham Forest. And Chris Wood in the 65th minute. I do think that Brentford overall deserved to win the game. And what a story for Ivan Toney. He comes back, a prolific goal scorer for Brentford. First time he returns after months, and he scores on his return game. Now, Sheffield United and West Ham. See, I did predict a West Ham win for this game, but Sheffield United drew 2-2 with West Ham at home. Diaz scored in the 44th minute for Sheffield United and Ollie McBurney in the 90th plus 13th minute, a penalty. Was it controversial? You tell me. I think it was a stone cold clear penalty. Then Cornet scored for West Ham in the 28th minute and James Ward-Prowse scored a penalty in the 79th minute. Both got red cards. Ryan Brewster got a red card in the 93rd minute and Vladimir Kufal got a red card in the 97th minute. It was a very interesting game. Sheffield United played a lot better than I thought they would, but they were at home. Now moving on to the Mighty Reds. Liverpool 4, Bournemouth 0. I did predict a 3-0 or 3-1 win for Liverpool, bearing in mind that Mo Salah and Endo were both unavailable for the game. Also, Trent was unavailable for the game, and also Szoboszlai was unavailable for the game. But what a game Liverpool had, having quite a quiet first half. They scored 4 goals in the second half of the game. Darwin Núñez finally scoring. Like, as a Liverpool fan, I always want Núñez to score. I think he's doing everything else he possibly can in the game. He's just lacking those goals, and I was so happy that we went into that game and he scored, and that's going to give him some amazing confidence for the rest of the season, hopefully. And Diogo Jota just doing what Diogo Jota does best. I honestly think Diogo Jota is one of the best Portuguese players to ever play in the Premier League, and right now could possibly be the best Portuguese player to play in the Premier League. I mean, he's been absolutely phenomenal, and the goals, the way he takes his goals is amazing. Like, you see him and he very rarely misses the target. If he hits the target, he scores, and he can score from the tightest of angles. He's just fantastic. When he's fit and playing, he is by far one of our best players. And Darwin Núñez just doing what Darwin Núñez does. He bullied the defense. He was fantastic. He had a fantastic finish for his first goal, and his second goal was, it might seem a bit fluky to you, but when you actually break down how amazing that second goal was, Gomez crossing into the box, first time finish on his right foot, absolutely magnificent by Darwin Núñez. And to say we went to Bournemouth, who won 4 out of their last 5 games, and we destroyed them 4-0. That for me shows real Premier League champion mentality, especially without our big players. You know, Mo Salah not there, Endo not there, Trent not there, Szoboszlai not there. Like, those are arguably 4 of our best players not playing in that game, and boy, did they play fantastic. But I want to give a special shout out to Maka. Maka was incredible, and I'm guilty of this. Maka, for me, has not had the best of starts to his Liverpool career, but if he can showcase what he did, okay, on Sunday against Bournemouth for the rest of the season, he could be one of the best CDMs in the Premier League. I I think it was 15 times he won possession, or 14 tackles or something crazy like that. The highest stat for any Liverpool player in the Premier League for 8 years. So whatever he's been doing on the bench, he's been watching Endo come in and bossing that midfield, and he's had a talk to himself. And he said, you know what? I am the marquee signing for Liverpool. I am a World Cup winner. I've got to go in there and I've got to prove my worth and prove that I am worthy of wearing the Liverpool jersey. And boy, did he do that against Bournemouth. By far, his best performance of the season. And honestly, if Liverpool keep playing like this, I know it's unfortunate that Mo Salah isn't playing and is out for a considerable amount of time, maybe a month and a half. We don't know. Hopefully he recovers sooner rather than later. But he is flying back from the AFCON. He's going to be with the Liverpool camp for his rehab. And we just have to hope and pray that he's back. But our attackers at the moment are giving me confidence that we can win some big games without Mo Salah in the team. And that honestly says a lot to me, because we've been very dependent on Mo Salah for the past few seasons. And I was just dying for Nunes to score, so he gets a little bit of confidence, and he comes into this game, he gets his goals, and he moves on, and he just has that. I don't know where to put it. He's a fantastic player. He's proven that for Uruguay. He's proven that for Benfica. He's proven that for Liverpool. But as far as goals, it just hasn't been going for him at Liverpool. But now with 10 goals and 10 assists, the only player in Europe's top 5 leagues to do that, boy, he's proving all his doubters wrong. And you got to love him. You got to love him. As a Liverpool fan, you've got to love him. What a player. Konate and Van Dijk, I've got to give them a shout out as well. Absolutely fantastic. They were monsters at the back, and they are threatening to create the best centre-back partnership in the Premier League with their stats right now. I think they've only conceded like 18 goals or something in 21 games. Absolutely ridiculous. Conor Bradley coming in, stepping in for Trent. He played magnificent as well. And Joe Gomez was phenomenal. Like, I don't know what they've done to Joe Gomez, but he's now playing as a left back. And for me, he's been absolutely monstrous these past 5 games. Since Shimikas has gone, he's been ridiculous. But obviously Andy Robertson returning, hopefully, for the Carabao Cup semi-final against Fulham. So what a game for the Reds. Obviously, I'm a Liverpool fan. I'm very happy that we won 4-0. It was ridiculous, especially, as I said, against a very good Bournemouth side. I was quite worried that this could be one of the games where we slip up, but amazing. Absolutely amazing. Now we're moving on to Brighton and Wolves. It was quite a quiet affair. 0-0. Wasn't anything really to rave about in the game. Brighton did play a lot better, I believe, than Wolves. They probably deserved to win. But 0-0, 1 point apiece. Fantastic for the both of them. And let's see where that leaves us with the standings of the Premier League. So Liverpool remain at top, playing 21 games with 48 points. 5 points clear of Manchester City, who have a game in hand. Arsenal, 21 games played, 43 points. We're 5 points clear of City as well, playing the same amount of games. And also 5 points clear of Aston Villa, having played the same amount of games. Tottenham now in 5th place, 21 games played, also 40 points. Tottenham are just a win away from the top 4. You've got West Ham, who are doing fantastic, incredible to be. West Ham to be in 6th place is incredible. Like 21 games, 35 points. They're not quite at the top 4 level yet, but fantastic nevertheless. Brighton are in 7th place with that draw, 32 points. Man United in 8th place with 32 points also. And Chelsea, 31 points. Newcastle, 29 points. So that's the top 10 in the Premier League at the moment. I'm quite surprised, I'll be honest with you, to see Man United, Chelsea and Newcastle where they are right now. But who knows where they'll be at the end of the season. And as I say, I still think Man City are the favourites to win the Premier League. But we'll see how that goes. Now, the relegation zone. Sheffield United, 10 points. Burnley, 12 points. And Luton Town, with the game in hand, 16 points. So it does look like Luton Town, if they can win their game in hand, they will go ahead of Everton. And Everton will be in the bottom 3. I think Burnley and Sheffield will get relegated. Luton, I don't know about Luton, to be honest. I think Luton have got a fighting chance. So have Everton, so have Nottingham Forest, so have Palace. So I think two are confirmed with Burnley and Sheffield, but I think it's going to be a hell of a scrap between the others, if you ask me. Now let's go to match day 22 in the Premier League. Nottingham Forest against Arsenal. Now, Nottingham Forest have been decent over the past few games. Obviously, they're still fighting that relegation battle, and they're playing Arsenal. Arsenal have only won 2 games out of the last 5, but they are returning from a 5-0 thrashing of Crystal Palace, so they were fantastic in that game. And Nottingham Forest have also only won 2 games out of the last 5, but obviously they lost their last game. Now, what do I think will happen? I think Arsenal will comfortably win this game. I think they're probably building up a bit of momentum now after that 5-0. And I think it will be a solid, I think it'll be a 3-0 to Arsenal against Nottingham Forest. Luton versus Brighton. Luton at home. So Luton at home have been very good, especially against the big teams. And they're coming off actually a 2-win in 5 game record. And Brighton have only got 1 win in 5 games. Brighton are really struggling, especially away from home. I'm going to go with a little bit of an upset here, and I'm going to say it's going to be 1-0 to Luton. Fulham versus Everton. Depending on how Fulham perform in the Carabao Cup semi-final against Liverpool, will that give them confidence, or will they lose a bit of confidence? I think Fulham versus Everton is going to be, especially at Craven Cottage. I do think Fulham are just about going to get the win. I think Fulham are going to win 2-1 against Everton at Craven Cottage. Then I've got Crystal Palace versus Sheffield United. Crystal Palace coming off that thrashing against Arsenal, which would have knocked confidence. But I think Crystal Palace will beat Sheffield United, and I think will be 1-0 to Crystal Palace. Newcastle versus Aston Villa versus Newcastle. Now, we really, as Liverpool fans, we need Aston Villa to start losing a few games because they're getting a little scary for us. Now, I think Aston Villa will play against Newcastle, and Newcastle need a win. Oh, this is going to be tough. But after their fantastic performance against City, I think Newcastle will win 2-1 against Aston Villa. Now, a lot of people are going to say, what's going on? Because Villa have been fantastic at home. But I think this is where Villa are going to start going downhill. They're going to lose a couple of games, and they're going to get themselves out of that top 4 and probably finish 6th. But I think Newcastle will beat Aston Villa 2-1. Man City versus Burnley. I think this is only going one way. I think it's going to be 5 or 6-0 to Man City. Kevin De Bruyne back. He's just magnificent. He's come back, and I've got no words for the guy. He's such a top player. And to even think that they were without him for the first half of the season, now he's returned. You all know what's going to happen. They're going to go on a 17, 18 unbeaten game streak, and they're going to win the Premier League. My prediction. But Man City versus Burnley, I think it's going to be 5-0. Let's just go for 5-0. Tottenham versus Brentford. Ooh, this is a tough game because Ivan Toney is back, but Tottenham are at home, and Brentford historically aren't very good away from home. I'm going to go for a Tottenham win. 2-1 to Tottenham against Brentford. Ivan Toney to score again. West Ham versus Bournemouth. West Ham at home, Bournemouth away. I think it's going to be a 3-2 win to West Ham. Wolves versus Manchester United at home. Wolves at home, obviously. I think Wolves are going to beat Man United 1-0. It would be funny. But Liverpool, let's have a bit of an in-depth Liverpool versus Chelsea discussion. So they're going to play on the 31st of January, which is a Wednesday. And Liverpool, obviously, top of the table. Chelsea are now 9th, but Chelsea have won 4 of the last 5 games. Liverpool have only won 3 of the last 5 games, having lost none. Chelsea are looking frightening with the likes of Cole Palmer being absolutely magnificent. Caicedo kind of coming into his role now. Enzo being fantastic as well. I think that they have all the tools in their arsenal to beat Liverpool. But do remember, Liverpool are playing at Anfield, and Liverpool at Anfield have been absolutely incredible this season and of late as well, the past few seasons. 1-0 with Nunes now firing, and hopefully if we can get a midweek win against Fulham and another win against Norwich in the FA Cup, I do think Liverpool will go on and comfortably beat Chelsea. Maybe a 2-0. I don't think Salah's going to be back for this game. Hopefully Trent's back for this game. And hopefully Szoboszlai's back for this game. We know Robbo will definitely be back for this game. So let's see. I'm going for a Liverpool 2-0 win against Chelsea. I think the goal scorers will be Jota and Nuno. I think Jota and Diaz will score. But yeah, I'm going for a 2-0 win for Liverpool against Chelsea. I think it is going to be difficult for the Reds. It's not going to be easy. We can't walk into there saying that we can't walk into saying that Chelsea are going to come to Anfield and they're going to sit back. Chelsea and Liverpool have always been historically a very good game. We drew to them early on in the season. I do think we'll win. We have to win. A draw is not enough for Liverpool. Every single game now is a cup final for Liverpool for the rest of the season. We have to win every single one of our games. We've got Man City and Arsenal breathing down our necks. So if Liverpool seriously want to win the Premier League, then they have to beat Chelsea. I think it's going to be 2-0. Diaz and Jota are going to be the goal scorers. And let's see how it goes. But that's what I think. And we'll do a starting 11 predictor when we get closer to the game. Who I think is going to start depending on injuries at the time. But for now, let's just make a prediction: 2-0 to Liverpool against the mighty Chelsea. So that's it for my Game Week 22 roundup. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Who do you think will win on Game Week 22? What are your score predictions? Leave them down in the comments below. But until the next time, you'll never walk alone.